Howdy folks, this is a weekend shave this morning, and wanted to show you something that I discussed in one of the, or mentioned in one of the other videos here. But this is the soap that I'm using today. It's from Yulay and Aquarius, and this is Cognac and Cubans. So in other words, this is going to be a tobacco type scent this morning, and this is what it looks like. And so in other words, if you were interested in getting one of these kind of soaps, how it looks is different than typically the rest of her soaps. Like for instance, this one here is the one I'd mentioned, and when you look inside this Holiday and Berries soap, this is what it looks like inside. I have not used it yet. Excuse me. But you can kind of see what I'm talking about, her presentation of her soaps. Pretty cool. That is really neat inside there. And of course, yeah, it smells great. And today's shave, I am using a Schick Injector with a butterscotch handle. I really like these razors. I think they're very unique. Just awesome looking, and they shave great. This will be the first shave with this one here. Got it over here in some warm water. Got this from a fellow wet shaver. So, and also got it right along with it is a vintage reknotted brush. Lathered up just fine. And I also have the matching aftershave splash to go along with it. I'll be using the Cremo Beard Balm. And if you're wondering what it looks like, that's what it looks like there. And I also, sometime in the near future, I'm going to be giving it a try. Got this in the mail. I got some mustache trainer. And this particular packaging, this is how it works. It slides like this. I'm going to try something new and see how it works out for me later on. And I've already got a hot towel to the face and taken some of the bloom water and put it on the face. I'm going to go ahead and re-wet my face and go ahead and get started here. On YouTube, gentleman Eric Ventures in Wet Shaving, I guess, had been asked about why shave with a straight razor, which kind of brings up the question for me, because of course, you know, I'm sure it's always going to be open for debate. That it's never going to be settled, depending on what circle you travel in, whether a shave ed is a straight razor. And you'll have some that'll say yes, and you'll have some that'll say no. At any rate, when it comes to any razor, why do I shave with them? And for one, it's just the experience. You find some razors and blades work well for you. You'll find some not so much. This will be with the Green Pass number 1. Some like the injectors, and some do not. They don't feel like they get a smooth shave with them. And for me, these things shave great. This particular series of Schick Injector razors work wonderful for me. And I think maybe perhaps also one of the factors, reason why the shave goes as well as it does, is I think I've gotten better over time with the pre-shave prep. What works for me, and the hot towel. When I first started, I could tell there was a noticeable difference on how my shave went. So in other words, it wasn't just the bloom water putting it to the face, but the hot towel is what helped do the trick for me. and then you have quality soap. In other words, when it comes to the shave, to me, there's a lot to it in order to get a good overall experience with the shave. But shaving with a straight razor, once you are very much interested in it and get very, I guess you might say, involved in it, in other words, you're willing to do the research, watch many, many videos. For me, I watch many videos, hours, days worth of, of videos when it comes to straight razor shaving. And I'd always been interested, how do these guys do it and get good, great shaves. And for me, I just visualize myself doing it. I guess you might say active imagination. Got hooked on it. Decided not only was this one of those things I was going to try, but I felt like I could do it. I felt like I could get that great shave that I was seeing on the video. I guess you might say having confidence in yourself that you can do it. And also accept the fact that when you first start out, you're going to make some mistakes. These guys on the video, they do make it look easy. They really do. But to me also, one of those things that kind of makes a difference, and this is something that I had learned, is how I was working up my lather when I was DE shaving versus when I first started out with a shavette. Had to change how I worked up my lather to make it work better for me, and that was to make my lather, my soap, moist when I had lathered it up. My when I was DE shaving, it was a little bit thicker, wasn't quite as moist or wet, and I found that the shave would go a whole lot better if it was more on the wet side compared to how I was doing it. And I found out by the way of accident. Got too much water in it one day, decided to go ahead and go with it, and found out, hey, this works out a whole lot better. Then the more videos I watched, I realized that some of the guys had mentioned that they, that was one of the things that they had done, is that they had worked up their lather more on the moist or wet side, and that's how they preferred it. It's however you learn. Some people can watch videos, and in other words, you're visual, and that's how they learn, and that works for them. For me, it was not only have to watch the videos, but I also have to do it, and in some cases, even reading it. In other words, seeing it in print. It always interests me when I first started looking into wet shaving, how folks how they shave, because I know my experience prior to with cartridges that was not pleasant. Realized for me, just the fact that the silly things clog up every chance they had it. I mean, you couldn't even get what I would consider a full stroke through without having to stop and rinse the thing out. And it took forever to get it rinsed out. Couldn't get it rinsed out. So you bang it on the side of the sink, and then I break the razor, and yeah. Frustrating. Besides, the quality of the shave was awful. Going across the grain now. But once you experience a good straight razor shave, you'll understand why guys do it. It's a great experience. It really is. It's not like any other shave. I guess to a way, it depends on how you view it. It is definitely a manly way of shaving. It's something that you feel like you've accomplished. It's almost like I guess you might say, the sense of accomplishment when you complete a task. Let's say like if you're building a porch for your house, whatever the case might be. Rebuilding a car, vintage car, classic. When you get done remodeling it, putting it back together, whatever the case might be, that sense of accomplishment, pride in yourself. I really like these injectors. You may have to look around as it goes for the blade. There is a supply, and they also, of course, have their injector that's adjustable, and that you can put the plates on the bottom to adjust the aggressiveness. I say on the bottom, on the razor, how you want to word it. They have injector blades. And if I remember right, excuse me, I think you can find supplies injector blades on Amazon too. If you enjoy the Amazon Prime as well as the shipping. They said 2-day shipping is pretty nice. Since you already paid for the service, you might as well use it. If I remember right, I have a box of them. You get 20 blades. I think it's under $12. If I remember, the packaging looks very much similar to the Personna hair shaper blades, and I have those blades also, and they perform quite well. I've read in a few places where some guys have had issues with Schick, and if you look on the packaging, they come from China, and in other words, they're not made here in the States, even though the packaging that I got said that that's part of Energizer. I have got some that shave just fine, and the razor, the blade itself, looked great. Then I've had some where the grind, where you see it going across the blade, wasn't straight, and kind of get you a little concerned about whether that edge was set right or not. I imagine it's probably like that with some of these blades, where there's hit miss. In some cases it might be more miss than hit. It was just that one particular blade. It wasn't the whole, I guess you might say, lot of blades that was in that dispenser that was like that. So might just be an anomaly. This will be pass number 3, going against the grain. You did get a certain amount of feedback from from this razor. Really like the handle on this thing. It looks good. And trying to date these razors is not the easiest thing to do. You can get a general idea. I guess you might say within about 10 years, the time frame, 1940s, 1950s, a general time frame, but dating these things, yeah, not like Gillette where you got it narrowed down to the year and the quarter. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that feedback, but yeah, voice just a singing. That kind of feedback doesn't bother me. I know for some folks it does. They don't particularly care for the feedback. I do like tobacco scents. I have another one from Yulay that is tobacco scent. I'll be shaving with it pretty soon too. Hadn't decided what day. It might be. I might start the work week on Monday with it. I know when I was first shaving also, one of the things that I was missing out of my shave is the post. The post shave could definitely have been improved, which it has. For instance, the combination of using the witch hazel and alum. Alum alone seemed to, it felt like my face was getting dried out. That's how it felt to me. But adding the witch hazel seemed to make that feeling go away. In the aftershave, some of them are, not all aftershaves are equal, and a lot of these that like what I get from an artisan will have in other words, it's just not the scent, but the what else they put in with it, glycerin, anything to help your face. And to me, my face, the skin not only looks better, but it feels better. Alright, go ahead and get it rinsed off here and see what the alum block says. Single edge razors are, the blades are thicker, so the shave feel is going to be different than a double edge safety razor. It will be different. And for me, I like it. I enjoy shaving with all my razors, including my DEs. It's just a different shave feel. So it really depends on what you like, what you want to experience. What do you want to shave with, whether it's going to be the modern ones or if you want to shave with a vintage one. I enjoy shaving with the vintage ones. They have been around that long for a reason. It's because they were well made from the get-go. Alum block, rubber band. I guess you might be able to equate it to a vintage vehicle. Kind of the usual spots for me down on my neck. Even though I get redness up here, it's not stinging or anything like that. It's just, I know I do have blood vessels that are pretty close to the surface over there. when I first started shaving with the shavette, that's when you know, you're still trying to develop your technique, and I got those vessels, definitely got them angry. They came to the top to let me know. Which hazel I'm using today is Humphreys. I've been wet shaving just over a year, so there's a lot of stuff I'm still learning. Different beard balms, washes. There's a whole lot of stuff that you can learn when it comes to taking care of the face. Aftershave splash. Not all tobacco scents are, how you say, when you say a tobacco scent, to me there's a tobacco scent of the leaf itself when it's green, dried, and then you have the smoked version. For me, I like the smoked version the most, because the scent of a cigar or a good pipe tobacco I like. Some people find it very offensive and don't like it at all, but for me, I really enjoy that scent. I guess you might say it might be an acquired taste, but this is a nice scent. I really like this scent. Alright, go back over what I shaved with today. From a fellow wet shaver, I got this wonderful Schick Injector. I used a Personna mini hair shaper blade in it. Vintage brush that's been reknotted. I don't know for sure what the name of the brush is. It's, you know, being vintage, it's been used, and so the name itself is mostly gone, so I have to do some research to see if I can't find out what the name of the brush maker is, but it's a nice brush, been reknotted. The soap, Yulay Cognac and Cubans, and once again, that's what it looked like. Alum block complete with the rubber band there. Splash. New witch hazel I really like. Be careful, stay safe, smooth shaves.